Welcome to the Communication Diva Podcast, episode 99. Today on the podcast, Jenn interviews Susan Hogarth, Cindy Hogg, and Brad Hardy of Moving the Human Spirit, a collaboration that helps couples where one partner is living with post-traumatic stress disorder. Here's Jenn with the interview.
Hi, this is Jenn Swanson, and welcome to the Communication Diva Podcast. And it is a gorgeous, sunny Vancouver day here in, what month are we even in? We're in March, and it feels like May. It's spectacular outside. The cherry trees are blooming, and the daffodils are out. And it's a little concerning as well because the ski hills have not had the snow that they usually do this year. Business has drastically been affected. The snowpack is not what it was, and it's a little concerning. So while I know that a lot of Eastern Canada and Eastern U.S. has been suffering under snowfalls and crazy cold weather, we are not. And the good side of that is that we are not, and the bad side of that is that it seems to be an indication of what's happening with the environment. So here we are, and today I'm going to be bringing you an interview with three people, one of whom I've interviewed before and take our dogs for a walk together, but the other two who I just met today, and that's Susan Hogarth, who I know, and Cindy Hogg and Brad Hardy, who I had the pleasure of meeting today in the studio here. And they are collectively a company called Moving the Human Spirit, and the work that they do really excites me. The work that they do is perfectly suited to being on this show, as it has to do with communication. It has to do with helping people to move forward in their lives. It helps people to overcome difficulties, and it just sounds like they've got so much to offer the world. So I'm delighted to be bringing them to you. Before I turn you over to that interview, I want to let you know that my book is now available on pre-order at Amazon.com. You can go on there. It's called What They See, How to Stand Out and Shine in Your New Job. And you can just look that up on Amazon, and it is on a pre-order special right now until it launches May 1st, 2015. And this book is aimed at helping the new employee show up at work on day one and be confident, be professional, and to really shine with the skills that they come forward with. So I hope that if you have a graduate in your life, if you know somebody who is looking to start a new job, that you would share this book. And I really would ask you to tweet it out and send it out on social media to help me help more people. That's basically what it's about. So that's What They See, How to Stand Out and Shine in Your New Job. And there's a picture of the book cover over at communicationdiva.com. So without further ado, here is the collective that makes up Moving the Human Spirit. Hi, this is Jenn Swanson with Communication Diva, and we're in the home office today, and I have three guests with me, and I would love for you to begin by telling us a little bit about yourselves.
Cindy Hogg, thanks, Jenn, for the opportunity to have this discussion with you today. We really appreciate this invitation. I am part of a wonderful collaborative partnership with Susan and Brad called Moving the Human Spirit. And it's all about communication and how we communicate together. I come from a business background, entrepreneurial business background for 30 years, and I look forward to working with others, whether it's couples, families, businesses, corporations, to do with communication style. How can we best communicate together?
Great. Welcome, Cindy.
My name's Brad Hardy. And my background is in stress and chaos management, and the most recently with the organization Wounded Warriors, we have been doing couples coaching, PTSD, which is, as you've read in the papers, highly sought after therapy for couples, those coming out of military and suffering for a long time. So we're happy to have undertaken that project in Moving the Human Spirit, and it aligns with my background.
And I am Susan Hogarth, and thank you, Jenn. Gosh, it's been many years since you and I have known each other.
That's true.
And my background is in family coaching. And I specialize with gifted and at-risk youth. And I have started collaborating with Brad and Cindy over the last couple of years as all internationally certified coaches and moving the human spirit and bringing communication to the world.
Fabulous. Yeah, Susan and I did an episode 33, a number of years ago, and lots of people have listened to that. So welcome to all of you. And today you're going to be talking about the work that you do with couples and PTSD, as well as work that you do in relationships. And what drew you to this kind of work in the first place, and to collaborate together? Because I think this is a very, I was going to say dynamic duo, but there's three of you.
Well, I think my background in doing facilitations for organizations for stress management and for health and wellness, that was one area where I started having interest in exploring what we could do with couples. Susan was working with gifted children at the time, and Cindy came to us through Susan. They became good friends, and we got together and decided maybe we would work better in more numbers. And we seemed to be doing a lot of energy was given in different areas that we were all interested in. So we thought a collaboration to work together in relationships, to work with couples, to work with individuals, and to try to assist them in forming communication that was healthier and better in their relationships would be something we all felt very strongly about.
And how long have you been working together?
Not quite 2 years we've been together. So I think we launched our website in January 2014. So movingthehumanspirit.com. And we've been just kind of flying from that point. We've been having a great time together and being able to really kind of stretch our wings and move into working with post-traumatic stress and having great success at it.
And so where do your clients come from? Where are you drawing from?
I think right now, as Brad had mentioned, we're working along with Wounded Warriors with a pilot project, and mainly those couples are coming through as veterans from the military Canadian Forces. That's going very successfully. It will be ongoing for the next year as pilot programs, as well as we're finding in conversation with first responders, whether it's through the RCMP, whether it's through ambulance, whether it's through firefighters, whether it's through First Nation. We're having a lot of people that are experiencing these things at this point in time. And because PTSD is really a recognized thing these days, that people say, I really want help with this. This really does exist. And so we're having people going, please, what is the solution? So through Moving the Human Spirit, we're able to offer a solution-focused approach, which helps people move forward in their lives.
Can you give us some of the symptoms of PTSD?
Post-traumatic stress disorder symptoms include anything from severe depression, the inability to communicate with other people. Lots of people who suffer PTSD will withdraw. In the military, of course, people would go away and see some horrific conditions and come back and feel so traumatized by it they weren't able to fit back into society. Nightmares, fight or flight. It's like being on a constant awareness or adrenaline rush. So the symptoms are very similar to, some people say, having a heart attack, a panic attack. So lots of times people do suffer those, and they spend time trying to control it, and that's sometimes where you get into trouble because it's hard to control. And if you don't work through it, then that comes up for you more and more often.
And PTSD not only is recognized with military, as Cindy mentioned, first responders as well, rape victims, younger children sometimes that have been in car accidents or mature victims as well, car accidents, house fires. So PTSD can show up virtually almost anywhere.
And is it because it is now clearly identified that we're hearing about it more and more often? I mean, it's been around well before it was named, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think it went under the various names probably before this point in time. What's good is that it is being, as you said, recognized. And so people before may have felt very awkward to come forward with the feelings that they were experiencing because they may have felt it was related to something that was, not really recognized or it was something that was not appreciated as being real. But now it is. And so people are encouraged to come forward now and to get help and to be supported to move forward in their lives very positively.
And share.
And share.
And share. So is there a sort of standard protocol for dealing with this? Or are there a number of modalities that are being used to treat PTSD? Like, people medicated? Are they, who do they go to first?
Yeah, I believe that's a really good question, Jen. I believe that first, of course, you have to be diagnosed with PTSD. And there are quite a few modalities that deal with it. I know there are some people doing work with horses. They take people in and they learn with the horse trust and vulnerability. And a horse, being a great beast, senses very easily. There are some people in the States doing work through First Nation types of procedures, so sweat lodges and some other spiritual courses. And so a lot of different things are being done about it. This particular program that we are on the 6-month end of, there's a 5-day course with the psychologist before we see them. So it's very in-depth work, and then we carry that work on for 6 months afterwards. And it's not the same as what the psychologist does. We do, as Cindy said earlier, a solution-focused procedure, but it is following down the communication path that they have begun. So it's in support of them and helping them continue with the skill sets they need to build a deeper relationship.
And you work predominantly with couples in this realm?
Yes, we do mostly couples. And we have, of course, we've done individuals as well. So it's not that we would choose only to work with couples. It just happens for this particular program we're working on, it is couples.
And what happens in a relationship when one of the partners has PTSD? What happens to that relationship?
Usually there's a misunderstanding or there's a lack of communication. And as Brad indicated, because of the various symptoms that could appear from having PTSD, it's not really understood. So it affects the partnership. It affects the relationship, not only with the spouse, but with the entire family. So an understanding of what PTSD is, as Brad said, a diagnosis of this is very important to understand whether it is PTSD or whether it is another symptom perhaps. But it all comes down to communication. And so if you can help the couples come together so that you can have a discussion with them together as a couple, then you can start to open up the lines of communication between the two of them. And sometimes that will take a long time. It takes a lot of trust. It takes a lot of courage on behalf of the spouse and their partner to do this. And so being there as a solution-focused coach provides that foundation for them to build upon, to be able to start the rapport, start the essence of having that really solid foundation to move forward on. And I think that's really important. It all comes down to communication, right?
Mm. And how long would it take, or does it vary couple to couple? How long would it take to go through a program?
Well, our program is a 6-month program, and we find that actually has worked really, really well. And I always like to say with my clients, my job is to teach them so that I no longer have a job.
Right. Make yourself obsolete.
Yeah. Yeah. And, and for them to be able to go out and reteach what they're learning through what we're doing with the coaching. I think overall, a 6-month program is really well, but I would probably say the average would be 3 to 9 months.
Mm. And that's probably, it probably takes people quite a while before they are diagnosed.
Sometimes, Yeah, sometimes it's critical with many cases to be diagnosed within the first 48 hours or to have those first general conversations. But usually PTSD will show up after like a certain amount of time, right?
I think that people have to have a self-awareness about who they are and how their body works. And I think they have to work with their doctors and practitioners in relating that they're having difficulty and that they're having symptoms, and to eliminate all of the possibilities that then stem you into, is this full-blown PTSD?
Mm-hmm. Are there educational programs or something, I'm thinking particularly with the emergency response people or the people in the military, are there prevention programs? Are there programs that give the signs and symptoms in advance so that they can recognize these things more quickly at the other end? Because it seems to be really prevalent. And thank goodness there are people like you who are helping at the other end. But I just wonder about education and knowledge for people before they go into situations that could be or are traumatic.
Everyone is very aware of this now. So many organizations, including Canadian Forces, are taking steps to do that with the support and help of Wounded Warriors and other organizations like that. So things are moving positively forward, and we're very happy to see that, and very happy to be able to support anything, any initiative that moves forward as well.
Can you give an example of something you would offer one of these couples as, are there exercises that they have to do? Are there conversations they have to have after they leave your office? Can you give an example of something?
Yeah, we certainly offer exercises with our clients. One thing I should mention before I offer an exercise is that every one of our clients, we work for them. So it's all solution-based. We believe that everyone has what they need inside of them in order to feel better, be better, conduct better relationships. So it's very much about reading your client and where they're at that particular moment. But yes, we would do exercises such as one that we enjoy doing is the How Do I Show Up exercise. And that would be taking the couple and giving each of them an opportunity of open air to say, A, how do you think you're showing up for B? And they say. And then when that first step is done, you do the reverse. Then you go back and say, A, how is B really showing up for you? And a lot of really good stuff comes out of that. It's a light way to start opening doors and to have them start looking at this relationship, to start saying, I didn't know that was happening for you. In our lives, and of course in any relationships, we have a great deal of assumption. And everyone knows when we assume things that we build our own thought pattern around it. So that is one initial exercise we do, just to start them thinking in the directions of what I thought I knew, I don't know. I thought you'd want what I want.
Exactly. It's funny, I was teaching a marriage preparation workshop this weekend with couples, which is basically a communications workshop. And I had two young couples, and I was saying that very thing. You might assume you know what the other person is thinking or wanting or feeling, or what goals they have in the near future with this marriage. But unless you have that conversation, you're playing mind reader.
Right.
And so that was funny. Yeah. Stress management. You work with that as well. I mean, I'm sure that's part of what you're doing with the PTSD.
Yeah, so we think it's very important to start at the basis of what educating people what stress is, helping them understand how it affects their body, how it affects their health, how it affects their communication. So we spend some time doing facilitations for organizations and help them discover new ways of approaching stress. Not all stress is bad.
Right.
It takes a certain amount of stress for us to be able to manage our lives and work through our body, and certainly athletes know that. So we spend some time educating people around this.
Yeah, and good stress. Like there's good stress as well, and I mean those become just signals for ourselves to kind of sit up and take a realization of something, right? Mm-hmm. And as at what point in time does that good stress become bad stress?
And what are your triggers? And
What are the triggers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really all about self-awareness, really, when you think about it. So, part of what we're working is a healthy individual creates a healthy family, creates a healthy community. So what relationship do you have with yourself? Are you aware of that? And then in turn, what relationship do you have with your spouse? And in turn of that, what relationship do you have with your family and your community? And on it goes to a global basis. So it all comes back to self-awareness and how you're processing things for yourself.
you can do this in 6 months. Sounds like a lifetime project.
It is. We just help for 6 months.
That's right. That's right. What about chaos management? That's a new one to me.
Okay, again, the chaos around that we educate people on, again, it goes back to understanding how our bodies work, what exterior stimuli is affecting us, and how to be organized and identify such things in, say, obviously offices have a lot of chaos, and that can have to do with a lot of personalities, working under the same roof. It has to do with a lot of stressors. Each of us have a different stress when we're employed at an office and working together in teams. So oftentimes we'll come in and look at the office as a whole and perform a facilitation for them that eases the chaos that they seem to be having. Some of the areas that they might not be as clean and tight on as they could be. And again, comes back to the communication within it. It's like, what are the stressors? Why am I communicating with these people the way that I am? How can I make that communication better and make me suffer less stress and chaos? So it's about organizing one's life and looking at it from several different points of view, all of them being with the focus of health and wellness at the end of it, and also just the education of knowing when we're feeling that stress, when we're feeling that chaos, and giving them skills and tools that they're going to be able to eliminate that on a easier level, especially with practice. Everything becomes easier with practice.
Mm-hmm. And we bring our skill sets to play in this. So very positive, moving forward toward the vision you want to create for yourself in the future for your life, right? Today and moving forward. But we also have skill sets and training in emotional intelligence, and emotional intelligence 360 from a company leadership point of view. We bring skill sets of personality profiling. How is your personality affected and how is it different? We bring skill sets of facilitation. How do we work together as a group, as a team, as a family, as a couple? So we have a large skill set base that we bring to play, and it's very customized to the individual or the team or the couple. What does the client want? What does the client need? What does the client want in the future?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we look at that need and solve it, basically. Well put, Cindy.
Right, right. So what feeds you in this work?
People. I love people. I love language. I've always thought that language is extremely important. And in looking at people and language, it's all about communication. And I really love working with people. I love working with a solution-focused approach. And I love seeing people, I say to them, so that's what you don't want. Tell me what you do want. Tell me what excites you. Tell me what makes you tick. Like, what do you really want? And when I see the excitement in them and their eyes and how they move forward and progress towards what they really want and they know why it's important to them, that's what really feeds me.
Yeah, and then for me, what feeds me is is when couples or individuals are able to take this back to their families and through practice, continuing to do this and starting to watch the ripple effect. So, and it's not something that you're going to do overnight, but through repetitive, just over and over and over again, starting to see the difference that it's making in the family. And then starting seeing the children talk to the way, with their other siblings or with their girlfriends or boyfriends. Then it's like, yes, my job is done. So that's what lights me up.
great.
Yeah, I think it certainly has to do with all of that, and just the relief and the aha moments that people have. You know, sometimes it's easy for us all to feel so trapped and that there's no hope. And it's just been so rewarding to see people come through and out the other side and go, oh, you know, I thought I was normal once, but I'm okay now. And it really is, it's very enriching to be able to assist people in doing that.
Mm. Mm-hmm. And do you stay in touch with your clients? Like, are you? Is there any way to check in and see how they're doing a year later or 2 years later?
For myself, I have a meetup group, right, with the families of the gifted and at-risk youth, and I am wanting to start another meetup group for the PTSD couples. So that is on the agenda.
And we try to keep all of our clients, regardless of who we're working with or under what area, to encourage them to continually be on our Facebook and to get them to communicate through there. And obviously, we all see other private individuals, so they've been in touch with us as well over the course of our interaction with them.
Mm-hmm. So this is a very open and warm process that we use, but it is entirely confidential.
Yeah.
So any clients that we have, the confidentiality of anything is totally guaranteed. But hey, I think about my clients all the time. I think about what would work for them and what they would enjoy and where they're at right now. So it's something that involves my heart. Mm-hmm. It's something that all of our hearts are involved in this, and that's why we're so passionate about it. And that's why it works.
And do you meet with people face to face, or are you online and virtual as well?
Yeah, we're able to meet with people face to face. We have found in a lot of the work that we're doing, people feel very much more comfortable in their home. So we will do a Skype or a telephone conversation. The other great thing about that is that we've found we're able to go into the States and all across Canada with clients as a result of it, because there's no limitations. And obviously we're a global company. We've done, Susan and Cindy have done more work in India and China and areas such as that. We certainly have had clients from places like Hawaii, Thailand, and other areas. And it's easier to do that, of course, by phone, arrange a time. But yes, we're not opposed at all to seeing clients face to face. Some of them enjoy that, and some just enjoy the comfort of their own home.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So where do you see yourselves in the next 5 years?
Wow.
Oh, I asked a question that stopped them all for a moment.
Yeah. Well, I think the way that we're organizing ourselves now is that we see us branching out and becoming more involved in the health and wellness of communities. So, currently we're working in relationships with people. We're looking at putting in some new facilitations with relationships within families that go much deeper. We're looking at doing some facilitations with communities, understanding what is needed in specific communities depending on who has immigrated into those communities, what type of needs they have, financial levels of the community. And I think that we want to basically move people's spirit as much as we can moving forward.
Hence the title, Moving the Human Spirit.
Yeah, the education system is a really big one for me as well. So that's very near and dear to my heart, is bringing this solution focused into the teachers and the students. And my gosh, what a great world we would have.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And I've also been doing work with entrepreneurial innovative businesses. So introducing a coaching approach into these. I mean, we live in a world of entrepreneurs right now. Very talented young people, and it's actually fascinating to see the generations actually converging and meeting at this point. So it's a very exciting time to work with entrepreneurial businesses and moving that forward as well. And because it's all community, right? Mm-hmm. So healthy individual, healthy family, healthy community, healthy businesses, and it will be global, and we will continue our global work.
Mm-hmm. So where can people find you?
People can certainly follow us online at movingthehumanspirit.com. If they go to the website, they can click on and follow our Twitter account and certainly become part of our Facebook, and we would welcome that.
Okay, so movingthehumanspirit.com. I'll put that on the website, and pictures of these fine people and a little bit about them at communicationdiva.com. Any last pieces of advice for the listener out there?
Keep on listening to Diva.com. Communication Diva.
Keep on communicating.
Yeah, thanks so much for the opportunity to sit in here today in your studio and give us an opportunity to talk a little bit about what we do. And we're grateful that you do what you do because you're getting us out there.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic.
Thanks, Jen.
Thanks, Jen.
It's been lovely to have you here. Thanks. So there's my conversation with the collective that makes up Moving the Human Spirit. And I hope you enjoyed that as much as I enjoyed the conversation. These people come with a tremendous wealth of gifts and skills, and the passion that I could see that you couldn't see, but maybe you could hear it in their voices, is really evident. The passion that they have for helping people and for making this world an easier place to be in is very clear if you look at them. So I hope you go over to their website at movingthehumanspirit.com and follow them on Twitter, LinkedIn, say hello, connect with them, and share what they're doing with people in your life that might benefit from it. I also ask you to continue listening to Communication Diva and sharing this podcast around. It's because of you listening that I continue to do this work, and I thoroughly enjoy sharing amazing and interesting people with the world, helping the communication that we have between each other expand and grow and deepen so that our relationships are stronger, so that, again, the world is a little bit of a better place. This is Jenn Swanson. If you'd like to order my book and come and look at it on the website, please do that. And until the next time I put out a podcast and you tune in to listen, happy communicating.